What is up, bros and broettes? I'm Inkslasher, and today we're going to be answering the question, how good is Quickdraw? Now, obviously, Quickdraw is an attachment in Black Ops 3, and it's one a lot of people use, but the question we're asking today is it actually as good as everyone thinks? Is it worth a spot on your picked end? So guys, I have a question for you. Do you guys use Quickdraw, and if so, on which weapons, what classes? Let me know down in the comment section below, and also, if you enjoy the video, I would love to see you hit that like button. We've been consistently getting our videos over 1,000 likes, and it'll be awesome if we could continue that streak. Now, without further ado, let's answer this question. So the question is, what exactly does Quickdraw do? It's super simple. It makes you aim down sights faster. In any situation, that is exactly what it is going to do. Now, with this, for almost every single weapon, you're going to aim down sights 30% faster, except for LMGs. With LMGs, you're going to be aiming down sights 20% faster. The reason for that is because, generally speaking, LMGs have a slower aim down sights time, so that 20% is actually going to eliminate so much that if it was 30%, it would be taking this massive chunk off. Because when it's a percentage kind of thing, it's exponential and not linear. It's a whole mathematical thing. Point being, it actually kind of makes sense that it does that for LMGs and no other class. So there's a couple tricks when looking at this, knowing that's the way it works. So it's, like I said, it's exponential. So the weapons with the slower aim down sights times, Quickdraw is going to help them more. So that is really convenient for a few certain weapons. For example, a couple of the assault rifles, one being the Man of War and the FFAR, they have the slowest aim down sights time at 0.3, and if you use Quickdraw, it reduces that to 0.21, which is less than the KN-44 and the other weapons without using Quickdraw, which is super sweet. Other than that, the SMGs, including the Kuda, VMP, and HG40, all have the slowest aim down sights time in class, and I very highly suggest it on those weapons as well. So if it's this straightforward, why am I making a video on it? And the answer is, there is a complete other aspect to this that you need to take into account. So this other aspect is called sprint out time, and that's the amount of time it takes for you to stop sprinting and actually start shooting. We talked about this on Monday when we were talking about fast hands. Well, fast hands is going to come into effect when talking about this. So, in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, the way this works is your sprint out time and aim down sights time actually can be the exact same amount of time if you press the aim down sights button to come out of sprinting instead of the shoot button to come out of sprinting. It's actually most beneficial to press aim down sights and shoot at the exact same time to come out of sprint. Let me explain myself. So a lot of the time before in Call of Duty games, the times would add on top of each other. So your sprint out time would happen first, so you'd stop sprinting and start shooting, and then you'd have to aim down sights on top of that. In this game, you can actually do both actions at the exact same time. So with this, there's going to be a limiting factor. Either your aim down sights time is going to be faster and you'll be accurate, or your sprint out time will be faster and you'll start shooting before you're actually on target with your aim down sights. Now there's a little bit of a trick to make it so that these are almost identical. So this is the easiest trick in the world, and it's going to be something that improves your run and gun game to 1,000,000%. And all it does is make it so that your aim down sights time is exactly the same as your sprint out time. So as soon as you're aiming down sights, you're already shooting. It makes killing people super easy. And this trick is probably one of the easiest things you'll ever hear. Whenever you use Quickdraw, you have to be using fast hands. They're only really good together because if you're using one and not the other, you're either going to be shooting before you're aiming or aiming before you're shooting, and you want to use them together so you're shooting and aiming that much quicker. So for example, if we take the VMP, so normally the aim down sights time is 0.25 seconds for the VMP and 0.3 seconds for a sprint out time, so 0.05 seconds between the two. Now if we equip Quickdraw to the VMP, it reduces that aim down sights time from 0.25 seconds to 0.175 seconds. However, you won't be shooting until 0.3 seconds, because remember, your sprint out time has not changed. So all of a sudden you're going to be aim down sights way before that weapon starts shooting, and that's just not useful. If you're on target and your weapon's not shooting, you're not going to be getting any bullets on target. So if you take this and then equip fast hands as well with the VMP, it drops that sprint out time from 0.3 seconds to 0.15 seconds, and all of a sudden you're shooting before you actually have aimed down sights. This is exactly what you need. You need to have both equipped at the same time, and now you'll notice that between the two, there's only a 0.025 second difference instead of a 0.05 second difference between the two. And I know those numbers are super small, super minuscule, but they're going to make a difference when you're getting in gunfight after gunfight. You want to be shooting and aiming at the exact same time. Now, this doesn't only just work for SMGs. And in fact, on almost using any weapon in the game, this is going to do the exact same thing. So does this mean Quickdraw is amazing? No, in fact, this means Quickdraw kind of sucks. Why? Because you have to use another perk altogether to make this thing actually work. Now, this isn't a bad thing, and in fact, using Quickdraw, I use it all the frickin' time, especially when I'm using SMGs, but that's because I'm also running fast hands. Remember, the key to this one is running them at the exact same time, so you're shooting and aiming at the exact same time. So my answer to this is whenever I am using an SMG, I am going to be using Quickdraw. Whenever I'm using an assault rifle or LMG, I am not going to be using Quickdraw. Why? Because I don't run fast hands on any of my assault rifles or LMGs. Alright, then what am I using on those? I'm using Hardwired. I talked about it on Monday, but I'm using that because it counters way more things, and most of the time, when you're using an assault rifle or LMG, Quickdraw and fast hands isn't really needed because the gunfights you're getting into aren't necessarily sprinting all the time. You're more getting behind cover, using those long ranges that the LMGs and assault rifles have as an advantage over an SMG, in other words. Also, on top of that, there's simply better attachments to use for assault rifles, including high caliber, including stock, including rapid fire, including all of these things that improve assault rifles a lot more than Quickdraw. Also, let me remind you this, that for the most part, the Kuda, VMP, and HG40 all have the same aim down sights time as almost every assault rifle in the game. The Shiva even has a faster aim down sights time than all three of them. Now, if you're using these weapons, you want to be able to aim down sights faster than an assault rifle, faster than any other class, because you're going to be rushing around more with these weapons than you are with an assault rifle. Therefore, using Quickdraw and fast hands is that much more important with an SMG, because you're going to be rushing around with it, you're going to be up close and personal, and you need to be on that target first. That's the kind of coup de grace of an SMG. So what I'm getting at here is that Quickdraw is good when incorporated with fast hands, and the time to do this is when you're using an SMG. In fact, almost every single one of my SMG classes is going to include Quickdraw and fast hands, and then every one of my assault rifle classes is going to include something like stock, high caliber, and then hardwired instead of fast hands. Quickdraw not included. Quickdraw just sticks with the fast hands and with the SMGs. So a question you may be asking is, if I'm saying it's a shitty attachment, why do so many pros use it when playing professional Call of Duty? And that's definitely a good question, but there's an easy answer to that. First of all, when you're playing pro Call of Duty, you're going to be playing against the best of the best players who are using the best of the best guns, which means they're going to kill you the fastest out of anybody in the entire game, which means being on target faster is going to be one of the most important things in the game, because the guns they're using and players they're playing against kill you so damn quickly. The way to counter that is just to kill them quicker. So attachments and weapons and things like Quickdraw are going to be the most important things for them to use. Also, on top of that, if you're using shotguns, you don't necessarily need to be using Quickdraw because, for example, the Brecci, you don't need to be aiming down sights at all. However, if you're using the Argus, I get that one you might want to use Quickdraw with, simply because you want to be able to aim down sights with that one, because when you do aim down sights with the Argus, it turns into a slug, and I understand that. So that might be the one situation with it with shotgun where you actually might want to use Quickdraw, but other than that, I would just stick to SMGs with Quickdraw. As far as out of 10, with SMGs, it's definitely needed. It's like an 8 out of a 10. With assault rifles with LMGs, probably like a 6.5 out of 10, because like I said, for it to be effective, you also need to be using fast hands, and to be using fast hands, you need to be using Quickdraw, and you get the whole point. So guys, I hope you understand exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to Quickdraw. I hope this video was able to help you out and make you a better Call of Duty player, and if you learned something new today, it would be fantastic if you could leave a like rating. Also, if you're new to the channel, it'd be fantastic if you could hit that subscribe button. I upload new Call of Duty videos every single day of the week, and if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, that red subscribe button is sitting there with your name on it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love every single one of you guys. Thank you so much for the recent support. You can check out my Twitch, Twitter, and second channel, which is like a Let's Play channel / vlog channel. That is all down in the description. So again, thank you so much for watching, guys, and until next time, peace out.